Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for your attention during our WebEx online just now. So, I would like to summarize for today's lecture. Basically, what we've learned today is all about the client-centered, so that you know that there are other counseling skills that what we call client-centered. If you see from the slides, you can see that the founder for the client-centered is Carl Rogers, and the idea is that the therapy is led by the client and not the patient. And you have to know that within this therapy, they don't call their patient as patient, but rather they call them as client, right? Okay. So what is the client-centered is all about? As what I told you, it is a non-directive form of counseling, which means that it allows the client to lead the conversation and does not attempt to steer the client in any way. So the client has the right to lead the conversations, and there will be no effective set of goals, but it will be centralized or central or focus on the on client. And one of the key qualities, which is the core quality of the client-centered, is what they call unconditional positive regards. So, as what I mentioned earlier, there are three criteria of unconditional positive regards, which is complete acceptance, non-judgment, and also support. So that is the unconditional positive regard is all about. And the other things that you have to remember and to understand is there are three key qualities in client-centered therapy, which is the first one is unconditional positive regard. So that is the one that I showed you, the three criteria: complete acceptance, non-judgment, and support. And the second quality is genuineness. So what is genuineness is the counselor has to make sure that the client needs to feel comfortable sharing his or her feelings with the clients, and then this will lead to good communication. Thus, the client will be able to share everything, their emotions, their feelings to the counselor. Okay, so that is the second quality, genuineness. And the third one is empathetic understanding. So empathetic understanding is when they extend the empathy both to form a positive therapeutic relationship, okay, so that the client can feel that, oh, this counselor is understand what I'm telling her, and they did respond to me. And then again, within this empathetic understanding, like I said, Rogers emphasized that they won't call their patient as patient, but they will call them as a client, which they treat them as the same level, not like an expert and client relationship. And then this is the Carl Rogers. This is Carl Rogers that who found the client-centered therapy. So actually, this skills came after Carl Rogers himself experienced that the session will be more successful if he treat the client as his same level, and if the client lead the conversation, and he does not have to use his cleverness or his knowledge in counseling or whatsoever, but the client themselves. He put all the trust in clients, non-judgmental, listen actively, and empathetic. And then there will be lot of quotes from Carl Rogers. You can read on and understand what are the quotes. You have to remember this, just understand what Carl Rogers says all about. And then there are 4 goals that this therapy focuses on: to facilitate personal growth and development, eliminate or mitigate feelings of distress, increase self-esteem and openness to experience. And the other one is to enhance the client's understanding of him or herself. So that's what the client-centered therapy is non-directive. It's not going to set a goal, but eventually they will, but not necessarily. Okay, kalau if you still remember in your previous lectures, all of them are directive. So we are going to go for intervention. We are going to set our goals with clients or with patients. So that is directive. But again, in client-centered skill, this is non-directive punya counseling skills. Okay. Because of it's non-directive, it will be a very broad range. Jadi tak ada range objective yang very specific. And then just remember that within this client-centered therapy, counselor is not the one who set the goals, but rather the client, because they believe the client is the one who has the problems. Thus, they are the best solution. Thus, they are the best person to decide the solutions. Okay. Apart of that, there are several benefits from the client-centered. Of course, if you read through, because they are very comfortable, so there will be greater agreement, better understanding and awareness, decreased defensiveness, greater trust, healthier relationship, improvement in self-expression. Yes, because the client feels genuine, they can share everything, and this it can improve the mental health as overall. Right? Okay. How does it function? Okay, the success of this client-centered therapy is by rely on the important connection, important relationship between the clients and the therapist. If this relationship is not marked by trust, authenticity, and mutual positive feelings, it is unlikely to produce any benefits for either party, either to the clients or to the counselor. Alright, so these are another important thing that you have to understand, where Rogers identified 6 conditions that are required to success in client-centered therapy. So if you see here, genuine is one of the quality, unconditional positive regard is one of the quality, empathetic understanding. These are the 3 qualities in client-centered, and then it's add up another 3 points. So there is psychological contact, a relationship between the client and counselor. There is a therapeutic relationship, and then the client must be emotionally upset or in a state of incongruence. Then the session will be a success. And then the counselor, not only the counselor has unconditional positive regard, but also the client must feel or recognize that the counselor has unconditional positive regard. Okay, so these are the 6 conditions that you have to really understand. Then, when these 6 conditions are there will be greater potential for positive change in the clients, right? So these are the summary. So this is the one that I told you, that Roger said that from his own experience, his cleverness, his knowledge in psychology won't help much. But in fact, if he give the client to lead and he listen actively and he will be genuine, unconditional, positive regard, those are the things that will be helpful to help the client rather than use his knowledge or cleverness and learning, right? And then the other important things is this one. These tips and suggestions can be considered as client-centered therapy techniques. So these are other techniques that can be considered in client-centered therapy. Set clear boundaries. Remember that the client knows the best. Act as a sounding board, so you just not only listen to them, but also you have to reflect to them. Don't be judgmental. And then don't make decisions for your client. Remember, in client-centered therapy, the clients will decide for their own. It's not the job of counselor. Concentrate on what they are really saying. Be genuine, and then accept negative emotions. And then how you speak can be more important than what you say. Other than that, I may not be the best person to help. So these are other techniques that can be considered in client-centered therapy. And then according to the Australian Institute of Professional Counsellor, these techniques can be listed in the client-centered therapy. So the first one is congruence. Second one is unconditional positive regard. So remember that I told you unconditional positive regard. And then empathy, non-directiveness. So those are the things that keep repeating in the slide. So I'm hoping that you can remember and understand all of this. And then reflection of feelings, open questions. Other than that, paraphrasing, and the counselor must be a good encourager. So to enhance the client to share whatever emotions they have, whatever feeling they have, without stop them or divert them or steer them to other way. So to summarize all of the things that for today's lecture is you have to understand what is client-centered therapy all about, what are the key qualities, what are the goals, and then what are the techniques that can be considered in client-centered therapy. And another thing is what are the benefits of client-centered therapy. So I can say that there's not much things to remember or to understand. Just to let you know that there are other skills which is non-directive, led by clients, and we are not calling them patients, but we are calling them clients, which we call them as a client-centered therapy. So thank you guys for your time, and I hope you understand, and see you guys next week for nutrition counseling. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and bye.